Imagine flipping a switch in your living room, watching the lights glow, the fridge hum, all without ever opening a power bill again. Now picture this scene. A dusty garage, a handful of ordinary scrap lying around, and a homemade generator that supposedly costs less than a cup of coffee. It sounds impossible, maybe even illegal, yet across the darker corners of the internet, tales like this resurface repeatedly. One such device, known as the Bandry power machine, is claimed to be so simple and cheap it defies belief. Today, we dive headfirst into the story of a $1 generator that allegedly powers a home using almost nothing, and why these devices trigger such fascination and suspicion. Since the late 1990s, a particular kind of video has captivated millions online. These clips often show a person, either a gray-bearded veteran or an ambitious teenager, proudly presenting a tiny contraption made from a soup can, a few magnets, some copper wire, and sometimes a cryptic special ingredient. The camera lingers as a single bulb sparks to life, a fan begins spinning, and occasionally multiple appliances start working. The electric meter may barely move, all while the narrator insists there's no trickery, no hidden batteries, just raw energy pulled from the universe itself. It looks effortless, almost magical, yet it carries an undercurrent of danger, not from sparks or fire, but from the extraordinary promise it conveys. Whispers often follow these devices. Some claim the secret component is banned, while others suggest power companies are desperate to suppress the instructions. Rumors circulate that government agents comb search engines to erase these hidden guides. Almost invariably, stories surface about DIY inventors being approached by mysterious men in suits, demanding that videos be taken offline. The result? Instant curiosity. What are they hiding? Why does such a tiny device inspire equal parts awe and fear? Let's cut through the fog. The underlying science of generators predates even Edison and Tesla. Essentially, a generator converts motion into electricity, usually through electromagnetic induction. Move a magnet near a coil and electrons are forced along the wire, producing current. That current can light a bulb or power an outlet. Every type of power plant, nuclear, coal, wind, hydro, relies on this fundamental principle. The difference lies in scale, speed, and engineering complexity. A $1 DIY generator doesn't magically extract energy from nothing. Its cleverness often comes from repurposing discarded materials. An old DC motor, a handle, spinning wheel, and suddenly you have a miniature generator. On a small scale, it functions just like a store-bought unit. Many videos show these setups powering LEDs, charging phones, or running small radios, all fueled by hand-cranked motion. Costs remain negligible, but here's the catch. Your own muscles supply the energy. The story takes a dramatic turn when over-unity devices enter the conversation. Over-unity, a term from free energy circles, describes machines that allegedly produce more energy than they consume. Suddenly, the narrative shifts from lighting a single bulb to a device that seems to run endlessly, amplifying whatever input it receives. Is it a self-sustaining loop? Is it perpetual motion? That's where the aura of secrecy intensifies because, according to physics, true perpetual motion is impossible. Yet, the dream of limitless free energy continues to captivate imaginations year after year. So why do these rumors reignite repeatedly? Human curiosity paired with the frustration of rising electricity bills is a potent combination. If someone claims that for less than the price of a soda, you can sever ties with your utility company forever, who wouldn't be intrigued? Flickering lights, soaring bills, or unreliable energy supply amplify the allure. Throw in hints of censored inventions, and you have a formula for viral obsession. Skeptics point out that every viral free power video eventually hides something, a battery, an off-camera wire, or a clever trick of perspective. Still, the fascination is undeniable, even if perpetual motion remains impossible. These $1 generators demonstrate ingenuity and resourcefulness. They remind us that, with the right knowledge, even the simplest materials can illuminate a room. The deeper question is less about whether it can be done, and more about what these stories reveal: our relentless desire for energy independence, our craving for simple solutions, and our hope for a world where anyone can access power. Think of the moment curiosity sparks. One viral video of a $1 DIY generator can send a person diving into junk drawers, toolboxes, and forgotten corners of their garage, searching for parts, inspiration, and the thrill of discovery. Maybe you've experienced it yourself. The idea sparks instantly. Anyone could assemble a machine that shifts the balance of power, generating electricity from almost nothing. You dig up an old DC motor from a toy, grab a few feet of copper wire, and scavenge some leftover fridge magnets. Following a blurry online tutorial, you wrap magnets around a tuna can, connect wires, and secure everything with duct tape. Then comes the critical moment. You crank, spin, or push the wheel, and when a tiny bulb glows even briefly, a rush hits you, like uncovering forbidden knowledge the world never wanted exposed. Some builders stop there. That flicker, small yet tangible, feels like proof that undiscovered possibilities still exist. Others push further, testing new setups, exchanging notes online, chasing bolder claims. The legendary band generator that allegedly runs indefinitely or produces far more energy than it consumes. This is where myth begins to blur with reality, where economic and political uncertainty rushes in. What's remarkable is that the surge of DIY energy isn't merely fringe obsession or internet fantasy. It taps into a deep and growing frustration with the cost, control, and fairness of conventional energy systems. Around the globe, millions face unreliable, overpriced, or non-existent power grids. For them, a $1 generator represents far more than a science experiment. It symbolizes genuine control over energy. In refugee camps, conflict zones, and remote communities, homemade generators, often built from bicycle parts, salvaged motors, or discarded electronics, become essential. They allow students to study after dark, preserve critical medicines, and provide a semblance of independence. Viewed this way, whispers of bans or suppression begin to make sense. Maintaining dependence on centralized grids ensures high prices and concentrated control. If the next breakthrough could emerge from a kitchen table or backyard workshop, resistance and rumors naturally follow. Yet reality bites. For every viral claim of miraculous free energy, hundreds of DIY attempts end in smoke, sparks, and frustration. Science has its limits. Even the most ingenious homemade generators demand real energy input, be it human effort, wind, flowing water, or solar panels. The cleverest setups maximize efficiency, converting ordinary energy into usable power. Pedal-powered generators from old bicycles, hand-cranked radios, or wind-up lanterns genuinely function, testifying to human creativity. This practical success is often overshadowed by the seductive legends of banned, free energy devices. Occasionally, innovations do break through. Slight adjustments to old designs, stronger neodymium magnets, or inventive wire arrangements can squeeze extra volts from minimal motion. Some inventors even power entire off-grid cabins or workshops for less than the cost of an upscale lunch using secondhand parts. In this light, the $1 generator transcends its price tag. It becomes a mindset. It challenges the question, what can I create with the materials at hand? This is raw economics in action, maximum output from minimal input. The dream of a true over-unity machine, the elusive device producing more energy than it consumes, remains the holy grail, perpetually just out of reach. Physics refuses to bend. Energy cannot emerge from nothing. There is always a cost, even if invisible on your monthly bill. Still, each generation of inventors embraces the challenge anew. Schematics circulate, claiming loopholes in thermodynamics, using meticulously aligned magnets, peculiar pulse motors, or repurposed car alternators wired in unorthodox ways. The controversy over bans often stems from practicalities rather than conspiracies. In many regions, directly connecting homemade generators to household grids without certified equipment is technically illegal due to safety hazards. Poor wiring can trigger fires, injure utility workers, or damage neighbors' electronics. Sometimes, corporations quietly pressure creators, removing content to prevent liability, citing copyright or trademark concerns. Yet more often, the idea of prohibition is a viral legend, repeated because the narrative is irresistible, a secret technology too potent to be revealed. Economically, the story gains depth as global experimentation spreads. Many DIY energy enthusiasts are not mere hobbyists. They establish local workshops, sell affordable kits, and teach communities to generate electricity where none existed. While the $1 generator may appear rudimentary, the mindset driving it fuels transformation. Every backyard inventor, every child tinkering with wire and a discarded fan contributes a spark to a larger movement, gradually dimming monopolistic control and nurturing energy independence. Yet, as with any project promising to revolutionize overnight, reality is nuanced. There is a delicate boundary between authentic discovery and wishful thinking, and the truth often resides somewhere in the middle. The pursuit of homemade power is as much about human ingenuity, curiosity, and persistence as it is about the electricity flowing through a bulb. You realize quickly, the $1 generator that can illuminate your home might never run your oven or keep your air conditioner humming, yet it reveals something far bigger. It shows what's achievable when frustration, economics, and human ingenuity collide. Now we enter the most compelling part of this journey, a space where outrageous online claims, financial curiosity, and genuine invention converge. Beneath the noise of hype and doubt, there is a truth that rarely gets told. The saga of the $1 DIY generator and the intense reactions it inspires extends far beyond a single device, a workshop, or a nation. It's no surprise this sparks fascination. The idea evokes a world where energy is abundant, bills vanish, and creativity outshines massive corporations. Consider the implications. If the Band Ray power device were genuine, imagine millions harnessing energy from scrap materials. Entire power grids could be transformed. Remote villages across Africa, Asia, and South America, places that never had wires, might leapfrog decades of centralized infrastructure. Cities would shift, Neighborhoods change, as anyone could power a fridge, light a school, or charge a phone with a homemade machine. Schools could stay open after sunset. Medicine could last longer. Work could continue uninterrupted. Economic opportunities would explode. Even if the most extravagant claims fade into myth, something profound endures. These stories compel us to confront fundamental questions. Why are energy systems so costly and convoluted? Who benefits from the status quo? If innovation can emerge anywhere, why are so many people left powerless, legally restricted, or otherwise? Every attempt to build a personal generator is a challenge to conventional assumptions. And that challenge, in many ways, represents a revolution potentially more powerful than any electric bulb. Yet, reality cannot be ignored. Physics remains constant. No one has bypassed the laws of the universe. Most $1 generator projects exploit the simplest forms of energy already around us. Pedal a bike wheel, catch the wind on a tin blade, or channel a flowing stream. Energy doesn't come from nothing, but it often arises from overlooked sources. True transformation emerges when scarcity forces adaptation and invention. When power is costly or unavailable, creativity surges. That principle holds both economically and humanly. Scarcity underpins value. When electricity is limited, people pay dearly for it. When it is abundant and free, conventional business models falter. The $1 generator will never replace a nuclear power plant, but it compels us to ask, what happens when ordinary people refuse to wait for top-down solutions? Sometimes the invention is merely a device. Other times, it's a movement, a swell of makers, tinkerers, and thinkers disrupting systems by doing what seems impossible. This excitement, this hope, this relentless urge to experiment explains why these narratives continue to go viral globally. Perhaps it is not about overturning science or wiring every home with a soup can and magnets. The significance lies deeper. We all desire a measure of control, a reduction in dependence, a touch of magic in a world dominated by budgets and endless bills. If a $1 generator ignites those dreams, the survival of the power grid becomes secondary. In a sense, the cultural shift has already begun. Every failed project, every fizzled experiment, still sparks learning. Children grasp concepts of inductance, resistance, and practical science. Parents debate surging utility costs and local politics. Communities start asking bigger questions about solar panels, wind turbines, and home batteries. Energy becomes a conversation for everyone, not just policymakers or corporate monopolies. Across the USA and worldwide, discussions about energy independence happen around dinner tables in mud huts, city streets, and yes, on social media. If the next breakthrough emerges not from a Fortune 500 lab, but from a farm shed or student science fair, are we ready to embrace it? What part could you play? Not only in constructing gadgets, but in advocating for honest, affordable, and accessible energy systems. When you read headlines about a $1 generator lighting an entire house, or hear whispers about suppressed free energy experiments, resist rushing to dismissal or blind belief. Pause. Consider what is realistically achievable with the resources and knowledge available to ordinary people. How might this story transform if even a fraction of it proves true? Are we underestimating not the devices themselves, but the potential of communities of curious individuals when left to their own ingenuity? Now it's your chance to contribute. Have you ever felt inspired to turn scraps into a DIY invention? Have you witnessed creative power solutions improving lives in your neighborhood or country? Do you imagine a world with truly free or ultra-low-cost energy as a paradise, or as the start of unforeseen challenges? Share your thoughts. Discuss, inspire, and pass along these ideas to someone fascinated by the limits of possibility. You never know. What begins as an improbable experiment in a garage or backyard might ignite the next significant revolution in energy. The journey of discovery continues, transforming the ordinary into something extraordinary.